Good evening, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculetta.
Hey, everybody, we survived Extra Life.
Oh boy, barely, I think.
Barely, but we did survive.
We did survive. So let's go into the game news, and we'll begin with the Update 23 Patch 1 release notes. And did you find anything really spectacular?
There are a few things. The Mirror of Glamoring, you can now use that to create cosmetic shields and docents. The resulting cosmetic is bound to account, and all racial requirements will be retained. So if you have some nice cosmetic shields or docents that you would like to glamour up and make for cosmetic purposes, you can now do that.
All right. And it looks like they've also made some changes to the AI on the hirelings. And
yes, I haven't been in game yet to see how much better they are, but there is quite a few changes they made to them.
Right. And we'll find that out in a couple of days when we have our weekly run, I guess.
Hirelings will now resurrect allies automatically when possible, and it is now possible to specify a hireling to resurrect during combat, or you can wait till combat has ended. So that will come in handy, and that is, of course, for your higher level cleric.
Right. So that raise dead spell or resurrection spell or any of those fun high level spells that are able to restore you back to life.
And it is now possible to disable the pause in movement that a hireling does when someone in the party is hit by a trap. I'm not sure why you would want to disable that, but you can now do it if you'd like. Hirelings also that are told to stay put will no longer follow players after combat. They will stay put. They will actually listen to you now this time, supposedly.
Ooh. Yeah, we'll believe it when we see it.
And the melee hirelings are told to stand their ground in a spot will no longer help their master when their master gets hit. Once again, if they are told to stand their ground, they will just stand there and not move.
So that means if you want to do it, if you want help from your melee hirelings, then don't tell them to stay put.
And a big one that I think you might find handy is you are now able to customize the AI of Iron Defenders and Druid Companions.
Yes, my Artificer will certainly find that happy. And don't you have a Druid?
Yes, I do. So I am definitely going to want to check that out. I always wondered why on your companions for the Druid that you couldn't customize the AI like you could the hirelings, because I mean basically that's what your companions are. Is they're hirelings, you just don't have to pay for them.
Right. Well, let's face it, the ability to customize your hirelings was a relatively new item anyway.
Yes, it was. There was also a couple other changes. They fixed an issue that caused the Harper agent tree to lock up every time a point was added to it. So basically what you had to do before today's patch was if you were putting any points into the Harper agent tree, you would have to put your point in, click OK and apply, and then put another point in, click OK, put another point in. Now, if you have multiple points you want to spend, you can just go ahead and spend all those points in the tree and then hit OK.
All right, I guess I never had multiple points available when I was doing the Harper agent tree.
Smite Evil and Exalted Smite now both have a shorter animation.
I'm sure my Paladin will love that.
And returning, such as thrown weapons, are no longer considered a magical effect, and they will no longer be suppressed by things like Mortification's Disjunction. And there's quite a few other changes. There is a link in our article on DDOplayers.com to the full patch notes. They were quite lengthy. I just kind of highlighted a few of the things that I thought were the most important.
Okay, then. And in addition to that, we, of course, had our weekly DDO Chronicle, issue number 115.
Design Director Seberlin is back. You remember last week he was talking about the healing amplification changes. Well, now he is talking about some upcoming changes to the Barbarian.
Ooh.
So if you play a Barbarian, he is asking for some feedback in some threads.
Well, I did play one a week ago, and you remember what happened to that one.
Oh, that's right. That was your permadeath character that is now dead. May he rest in peace.
Until I roll another two in the die roll.
Oh, are you still? That's how you're going to do your permadeath? Is you're just doing a die roll. I thought that was just the first one you did that, but that's how you got to do it from now on.
Well, I may decide to use another method for random selection later on because I could always choose drawing a card or something like that instead, but it'll be some sort of randomizer.
And also in the community spotlight section, there are a couple threads you can check out to have a chance to win some turbine points. There's a couple different community members that are giving some turbine points away, which that is never a bad thing to get more turbine points.
Yeah, never hurts to have a few more of those things. What'd you think about the screenshot of the week?
I like last week's better, to be honest, but
yeah,
this one was okay. I mean, it's pretty.
It's pretty, but yes, well, yeah, it's hard to beat last week's. All right, so let's go into the store sales then.
We have a free sample of the week through October 30th. Would be the Omni Spell Dust. You get 50 of that if you use coupon code DUST23. Once again, that is DUST23. You will get 50 of those, but it is one per account. So you need to make sure you choose wisely on what character you use that for.
I would recommend a spellcaster.
Yes, indeed. And if you're curious what that Omni Spell Dust does, basically what it is it will replace any material component that you need for a spell. So if your spell calls for something, you can use the dust instead.
But not for ones that have a specific price to them. So if something calls for a diamond, no, you can't use Omnispell Dust to replace the diamond.
Right, and also there's some like rare components like Stone Skin or Death Pact that you need as well. It won't count for that, but the majority of your spells it will cover.
Right.
Also in the store, we have 20% off Astral Shard, Guild Renown Elixirs, and 50% off the Guild Charter and the Guild Airship Beacons.
All right. Somehow I didn't remember that the guild charters were in the store.
Yeah, I'm trying to think when I created my guild if I bought it in game or I bought it from the store. To be honest, I can't remember. It's been so long since I created the guild. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can get it in game because I'm almost positive I paid platinum for it in game.
So
I don't think
I don't know
used
why
points.
why would you buy one in the store? I don't know.
I suppose if you have more turbine points than you know what to do with, you're just trying to spend them all. There you go.
And let's go into the DDO player news there. And our site news, we have another adventure with Dorbin Fizzlebeard, who goes through the last adventure for Korthos Island and pokes all sorts of fun at adventures that include mind flayers and dragons.
This series just keeps getting better and better. I cannot wait until he is in the harbor and in the waterworks especially.
Oh, in the water. Oh, yeah, he got to make plenty of fun of the waterworks, that's for sure. But he's going to have some fun poking fun at kobolds next week. I think a lot of kobold adventures are going to be up there.
My favorite part of the whole article, though, has to be when he talks about trying to find the grease spell.
Oh, yes, I can't. Yeah, no, I cannot believe that anyone would go out of their way for a grease spell, but if anyone would, it would be Northman Fizzlebeard.
Yes, I can see him using grease constantly just because he can. So
just because he can, because it'll annoy everybody else.
Hopefully, in the waterworks, he will use some grease on those nasty kobolds.
Yeah, they deserve it.
If anybody does, it is kobolds. That is true.
Right, and you'll wonder why they still hate you, right? Yes.
Cue the song, right?
Yeah. All right, let's go into news beyond DDO. Previews. All the previews were unlocked for the Dungeon Master Guide, so this time we'll be discussing the three previews. First was the Hand and Eye of Vecna, along with the Dragon Orb, and Firearms, which is a interesting one they decided to put into the DMG this time around, and the Table of Contents, just in case you really wanted to see how everything was going to be ordered. So I guess we start with the artifacts?
Pretty much nothing really jumped out at me for the Hand and the High. They were pretty much what I expected. I do like Wizards of the Coast sense of humor, though, because you know how in these they have been blocking certain things out, and they're using like Post-it notes on the page to block it out. And this one, they blocked out some of the Book of Vile Darkness.
Yeah.
And they say, you are far too pure and innocent to pursue the Book of Vile Darkness, so we've covered it up for you. There's no need to thank us.
Yeah. Well, yes, but let's face it. Yeah, the Book of Vile Darkness is, well, Vile.
and dark. So yes.
Yeah.
And then as far as the firearms, explosives, and alien technology, it's pretty sweet. We can use dynamite now.
Oh, every adventurer's dream, if
There's
your world supports it.
there has been plenty of times when I really thought I could use a stick of dynamite right now, and now I can do that. And
Well,
and as a DM, I can do that to my players too. So
yeah.
expect a chest that has dynamite strapped to it. Just saying.
Yeah, but remember though, is if you strap dynamite to a chest as a GM, you have to have some means to allow your players to actually get it too. But it sounds like you like the chaos of having it in the game.
I'd like to kill my party off, so I'm just
Oh, you do. One of those DMs.
yeah, exactly.
You think you're one of those people who thinks that the Tomb of Horrors is a fun little jaunt.
Well, that's a fun place to be. That's a great place to go. There's nothing wrong with the Team of Horrors. Come on.
For your summer vacation, yes.
Yeah, I'm not doing my job as a DM unless my players are like over in the corner, like huddled crying, and then then I have done my job well.
Well, very different from my style of GMing, I can tell you that. So I did run the Tomb of Horrors once.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I love the Team of Horrors. That's got to be.
Oh, yes. I just remember that one of the players during the adventure, he decided to buy multiples of every single livestock that existed in the player's handbook. So all these songbirds and goats and all the stuff he brought along. And when they hit the first trap, I said that, all that livestock got killed in the trap.
Was he like intentionally using them as meat shields?
I don't think so. I think he just had them there as a joke.
Handing in the chat says Pine Leaf's DMing involves giving his players lollipops and rainbows.
I don't think so.
Not quite that nice.
Nah. No, one of my more memorable ones was in D&D where someone managed to dislocate his shoulder firing a gun and his daughter starts going, "Oh, let me fix it for you. How hard it can be to fix a shoulder." And no, she was not a medic. All right, let's go into our weekend DDO. And we will begin with your week. How did things go?
My level 9 rogue, I ran one quest, and that was the Grave Robber. That's in House Jurasco. And after I finished that quest and dungeon, I actually hit my 400 favor mark.
Woo!
Which means I now have Drow unlocked on Cannith.
Don't you already have?
Yeah, I was going to say, spoiler alert, I already do because I bought it in the store when it came out. So that part of the 400 favor didn't really matter to me, but I did get turbine points, so that was nice.
Okay.
And that was the first time I have ever hit the 400 favor mark, so that's kind of exciting too.
Oh, where do you find out how much favor you have at the time?
You can look on the patron panel, and at the very bottom, I think it's on the patron panel. On the very bottom, it tells you your total favor.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's a logical place for it.
And that is really all that I did with my rogue this week. I didn't play my druid at all. Didn't do a lot of DDO this week. I spent a lot of time in some other games for Extra Life. But we did do our weekly Wednesday dungeon run with my ranger/rogue, which I hit level 8 during that. We were running the final part of the Litany of the Dead Part 1, which is the Bloody Crypt. And the only reason why we ran that silly Litany of the Dead quest chain was so I can get a Death Touch bow.
Yay, we finally have one.
And we finished it, and I got my Death Touch bow. So I'm happy now. And then since we were all excited about running that and getting that Death Touch bow, we decided that we would try the next quest that we had up in our log, which was Party Crasher, which is for House P, I think.
Yeah, for House P.
And we decided in our infinite wisdom that, let's do it on hard.
Yeah.
Because we were, I think,
infinitely poor wisdom.
level above the quest, I do believe. I think it's level 7.
I believe it was a level 6 quest, so I thought, let's boost it up one level. It was either 5 or 6 level a level 5 or level 6 quest. So I thought, well, I was
Yeah.
being tame by only setting it to hard.
Epic fail is an understatement, I think.
Yes.
I got killed probably 10 minutes into it and spent most of the time with my ghost following Pine Leaf around because he had my stone as he was trying to find a res stone so I could come back.
Right.
And then we
And
finally found one, and then we got to the end boss, and it was a massacre. It was craziness ensued.
he had an army with him.
That was more than an army. That was like there were people coming from like all sides and through the ceiling and through the floor, and it was just insane.
Yeah, that was complete. I said, all right, this was.
And then I just asked Pine Leaf, I'm like, and why did we run this on hard again?
Because I was insane.
So I assume we're probably going to maybe try that again. I don't know if that's what we're going to do this week, but we're probably going to run it on normal. And
Very definitely. We're certainly not going to run it on hard.
I'm kind of hoping if we run it on normal, that many people at the end don't spawn. I would think maybe that would just be a hard thing, but maybe not. I don't know. It was just crazy.
We will find out. I guess we'll report that next week. All right. And my case, my Artificer, level 7 Artificer, same things. He did the Bloody Crypt and the Party Crashers, and you got an idea how things went on that. Started at level 7, then we got level 8 halfway through. And I started a Paladin for my permadeath character to replace the Barbarian that got killed last time. Paladin
and that was your random dice roll? That
was a roll of a 3 instead of a roll of a 2. So I'm rolling low on this, so I'm getting these melee characters. I've only done the first series within Cortos because I think I finished out with the one where you're in the inn and defend the inn. I've got that far. So, of course, now I need to go into the main island and start those quests, and that will be what I do next. I didn't get too far along because, well, the extra life thing, I was working on that quite a bit.
But you're liking the Paladin so far, though? I mean, even though, like I said, you haven't played it a lot, but...
Let's see. Paladin is... Well, I don't know how I'm going to rate the Paladin yet. We'll have to see. At least I have means to... I don't care. Means to heal and stuff like that, which is useful to have.
Are you... yeah, I was going to ask which, like, trait tree that you're going for. Are you going to be, like, the undead killer Paladin? Are you going to be more like a healing Paladin? Or just a straight Paladin? Or how are you building the character? Don't you really know yet?
I'm trying to... I think I took the third line, which is the mixed bag.
Okay.
So I'm not specializing in the other two fields.
Yeah, if I ever do a Paladin, I always do the undead killer Paladin. I just like, to run around dungeons and just with a bunch of skeletons and just yell, turn! And then watch them explode,
I guess you got a point with that. So let's go into the donations. So let's give a big thanks to Patrick from DDO Cast for a $5 or more donation to DDO players. He says, greetings from DDO Cast, and he invites our listeners to play DDO Cast Guild Feud. And there is a link in the show notes. For more details, short version, answer 10 questions. We asked 100 players, guess the most popular answers, win prizes. So it looks like it's based on the game show Family Feud, assuming that's still around.
Yes, it is.
It is still around? All right. Yes. And also, don't forget to gather for buffs.
Yes, we would like to give Patrick a big, big thanks. And if you don't know, Patrick is the host of DDO Cast. So it was great that he gave us a little shout out and especially the donation. And I did go over and played the Guild Feud. It took me maybe 10 minutes to answer all the questions.
Right.
So it didn't take very long. And you can win turbine points. And they also have owlbear companions that they're giving away as well.
All right.
Everybody should look at that link, go over there and answer the questions and maybe win some great prizes.
And the survey says, all right. Let's go. A big thanks to Donald for a $5 or more donation to DDO players. To help support DDO players, you simply go to the donations page where you can help support the podcast on DDO players and also help support the site. And for $5 or more, you could get a mention here on DDO Players News. As for feedback, we still don't have any iTunes reviews, but we do have a featured comment. McQuiggan commented on Arcane Adventures with Dwarf in Chapter 4. Great stuff, Tap. Keep it coming. So far, I hit a 78 on my daily dice. Got a nice item. I wish I could remember what it was. And we have...
It's nice for me to see that the RNG actually likes somebody. It doesn't like me, but it sounds like it likes other people. So that's good to know.
I think... I'm trying to remember whether my best one is 99 or 100, but I do remember getting at least one of those two. Probably at the least auspicious time. Well, you can email us at podcast@ddoplayers.com, and you can also follow us on Twitter. The Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDO Players, Draculeta @Draculeta_72, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, and we have our Players Alliance live shows on Mondays at 8:30 p.m. United States Eastern Time, DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Players News. And you can join us for live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. Thank you, everyone, for listening. That's all for tonight, and this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to loot those chests.